Turning now to a Fox 13 exclusive, we are hearing from former Fox 13 news anchor Jamie Tompkins, who is now seeking $3 million from the city of Seattle.
After leaving a successful 20-year career in journalism, Tompkins says she endured 18 months of sexual harassment, stalking, and defamation while trying to work at the Seattle Police Department. Fox 13 Shira Matsuzawa has her story.
Dehumanized, like a piece of meat. That's pretty much the feeling of my entire time at SPD is being treated like and feeling like a piece of meat. I'm collateral damage for a chief that they wanted to get rid of.
When Jamie Tompkins joined SPD in 2023 as chief of staff to Adrian Diaz, she was energized to help bring change to a troubled police department. It was reeling from protests following the murder of George Floyd. And before that, it spent a decade under a federal monitor for its use of force policies.
We must remain focused on providing quality police services and ongoing reform.
So SPD veteran Adrian Diaz got the top job, and his primary task was to bring accountability to the department.
Quite candidly, Chief Diaz is the right one for that job.
You learn a lot of lessons on a horse?
We learn a lot of lessons.
As news anchor at Fox 13, Tompkins had interviewed Diaz about his candidacy for the chief job. After that, he started to think she could be an asset to his new command staff, in part to shape messaging in the department.
Because I was never treated special because I didn't receive anything. I didn't receive special treatment. There were stories that said I got promoted. I only got hired for one job. I never got a promotion. There's a lot of like suggestions and misconceptions and also just flat out false information just about my employment in general. I thought that was funny that the narrative that was created was that somehow I'm special. Then people would tell me that I didn't have a background check. I had a background check. They went 10 years into my life, just like they did everybody else.
Tompkins says rank and file staff who did not want Diaz's reforms led the charge of sexual harassment, defamation, and stalking, even before her first day on the job. The worst, she says, was a rumor she was sleeping with her boss.
No, I absolutely did not have an affair with Chief Adrian Diaz. They're looking at chief of police, pretty news anchor. It doesn't matter if the story is true, it's fun.
She was a broken record for a year and a half at SPD, denying rumors, pleading for help. She had a few allies who were trying to help her as best they could.
A detective from Public Affairs told me that it was commonplace to talk about who was going to stalk me at roll call. I was told by a captain, he stopped by my office, he said, hey, I'm really sorry about your welcome to SPD. You know, we're lucky to have you. And he said, but watch your back because I don't want to see you get in their crosshairs. Everything about any reference to me has always been sexual. Like, obviously, if you're going to go to a restaurant with Jamie, you have to have sex. Obviously, if you're going to a building where she lives, you must be having sex.
But Tompkins felt alone.
And now we're talking about the current state of downtown as it stands today.
As a news anchor, she had used her voice every day. But here at SPD, she was suddenly voiceless.
I went in the first time for an interview, which I had been demanding for over a year. Nobody responding to me, but I had been demanding an interview to be heard. I wrote a letter saying, listen, if you guys want to sit here and talk about my body, you better include my voice.
Even though Tompkins and Diaz did not have a romantic relationship, the rumors persisted.
Chief Adrian Diaz will be stepping aside to work.
Mayor Bruce Herold demoted and later fired Diaz, citing distractions, and brought in former King County Sheriff Sue Rahr. The rumors about Tompkins continued, so she asked the new chief for advice.
Chief Rahr told me that I need to grow a thicker skin. Chief Rahr told me that I need to invest in Visine to conceal the redness in my eyes from any crying. I was told that I would grow a thicker skin, I would get used to it. Sexual harassment is common in law enforcement. She also said she had experienced it in her career. And if anyone sexually harasses me from that point on, I should just tell them to, quote, F off. And I was counseled on all of those issues by the department's licensed clinical psychologist, Dr. Who. And I met with her and I talked to her about all of the sexual harassment, everything that I had been experiencing. And I told her the advice that was given to me by Interim Chief Rar. And she said, as a medical professional, my advice to you is to quit your job, quit this job. And it was shocking to me in that moment because I've never quit anything. But she was right. It had taken a massive toll on my mental and my physical health. By the time I quit, I weighed about 100 pounds. So
Tompkins resigned her position in November 2024. Her letter, demanding $3 million from the city, also describes an unsettling meeting between then Chief Diaz and Mayor Herold. Diaz confirmed independently to Fox 13 the accuracy of Tompkins' accounts.
So yeah, exactly what is in the demand letter is what the chief provided to myself and my attorney, that he had a meeting with Mayor Herold to discuss this. And he says Mayor Herold told him that it's okay if you do her, I do her. I don't care if you're sleeping with her, and that he didn't care about the rumor because he would do me too. And it is not the reaction that I would imagine. I would imagine him saying, you know, it's unacceptable. It will not be tolerated. But to hear, I do her too, that just felt like he was just condoning it.
Herold was asked about Tompkins' situation in April 2025.
Is there admission that this was handled improperly, her case?
So you should not make assumptions. I have both a city attorney's office to handle all litigation, threatened, pending, and actual litigation. I have a general counsel that handles all litigation, threatened, pending, or actual litigation. And we are running a city and moving forward today. So it's a poor assumption to know I know every complaint made by every employee. That's just not a good assumption. So again, on this day, we're moving forward. You guys with me, right?
Absolutely.
Tompkins says she is disappointed in Mayor Herold's comments, and she is still traumatized by her short time at SPD.
Are there good cops out there?
Absolutely. Yeah. Sorry, it just makes me a little emotional. There are good people at SPD. They are quiet, and often they suffer in silence, and they don't have the privilege to use their voice the way that I can. And I think about the people who still work there every single day, and they encourage me to tell my story. They know what happened to me. They witnessed it, and they encourage me to tell my story. And so I care very much about the people of SPD. They know that my story is not a fairy tale. I am not a fairy princess. And I hope that the ones that do suffer in silence will find the courage to be able to speak up, even if your voice shakes. Even if you're scared. And even if it comes out as a whisper, it's okay.
In Seattle, Shira Matsuzawa, Fox 13 News.
So we asked Mayor Bruce Herold and former interim police chief Sue Rar for comment about Jamie Tompkins' experience at SPD.
Herold's office did not get back to us. Rar declined to comment on ongoing litigation. We have expanded coverage on this story on Fox13Seattle.com, and part 2 of our exclusive interview with Jamie Tompkins airs tomorrow night on Fox 13.